All right, Hefty here with 492W Health Business class at Penn State in the kinesiology department. We want to do our final project, Project 6, which is a business plan, rubric review, and pointers for success. You can see it's 120 points, 19% of total grade, so important that we nail this. You're going to see throughout that all your previous projects, all your quiz answers and essays, along with your discussion, research, and review are going to be components of this. So hopefully it's simply putting that together and fitting it into a nice final business plan. 3 easy points to get started here. Need a cover page. Give me an original business name of your biz, and then you as the owner, but you can have additional owners if you want, and then a specific location for your business. All right. Part 1 is your human resources section. Again, with all of these, you're going to need TRI for every 3 points. So you can see here they're multiples of 3. You're going to need TRI for every 3. You're going to use your previous projects 3, 4, and 5. This one is specific to project 4. So it's okay to copy and paste from those previous projects, but make sure it fits and make sure you made the improvements looking at the feedback if there were points taken off. So first one is business design and vision. This is from project 4, again chapters 1 and 2 from the textbook and CPD number 1. Make sure you use your illustrations and include all the different things: leadership, management, goals, objectives, and situational theory, along with evaluations from project 3 and 4. And then the second TRI, I need your business type based on tax considerations that we talked about. Next is chapter 3, where we look at staff recruitment, CPD number 2. Again, in project 4, we did this. Your job description to design, tell me what it is, give me a reference to support it, and then give me an illustration of a job description of one of your positions in your business. Number 2, TRI, interview process and procedures. You need to have an outline and an agenda of this process for your illustration. Number 3, interview questions. Your illustration is going to be the 6 different types we talked about in lecture, and you want to give me concrete examples of those 6 different types. Next one is staff selection, chapter 3, CPD number 2 again. This is project 4 exactly, hiring and your interview evaluation. You should have designed an eval form that serves as your illustration. Next TRI in that is selection process. This was those final recommendations. You want to have a process checklist for that as your illustration. Next, then we get into staff training. Again, chapters 4 and 5, CPD 3 and 5, project 4. We want to do internal training, and you need a very specific outline and agenda for your training orientation, whether that's 1 day or multiple days. Next then, TRI is external training. You want to list those specific ones, and then also any certifications. Last is staff compensation and your staff development. That's chapter 6, CPD 3 and 5 again from project 4. What is your staff compensation plan, specifically addressing how you're going to handle health benefits plans with your staff, and then any additional perks. Number 2 then is staff development program. This is that continuing education or professional staff development checklist for your staff. You can see it's worth 33 points, but again, this is project 4, and hopefully you made the improvements that are needed, and again, easy 33 points. Part 2 now is going to be your recruitment, retention, and profitability. We're going to start out with marketing. This is 12 points total for this section, very important. So you're going to do TRI for marketing research, TRI for identifying your target market, and then TRI for your strategic marketing plan. With that strategic marketing plan, you must include as your illustrations the 6 different types you came up with from the principles from made to stick. You did this with your essay answers from your quizzes at the end here. So again, look at the feedback if there's improvement needed, but again, this can be copy and paste. Last, then you need TRI for your evaluation methods of your marketing and we talk specifically looking at forms of social or digital media. Next is increasing your sales. This is chapter 8, CPD number 6. This is from your project 5. Use information you came up in research on your competitor analysis or benchmarking, specific to increasing sales. Next is customer service, chapter 9, CPD number 6. Identify the customer's needs and then come up with a customer service plan, TRI. Next is customer retention. We want to monitor those effects of your customer service and have a retention plan to retain them. Again, we talked about using social media or digital media for quality controls here. Last then is your revenue and profit centers. We talked about the number one revenue generator for your business. Want to describe that in detail and do TRI. And then we looked at additional profit centers or additional forms of revenue, TRI for that. Again, with all of these, you can have from project 5, you came up with some ways to apply. You can use some of that information and then again go back to specifically with marketing, the essays you came up with illustrations for the success principles with your specific to your business. Okay, part 3 now is operations, facility management, and evaluation methods. You can see the first part here is finance, and it's 9 total points, real important. We want to make sure we do a thesis statement and support that citing a reference explaining what it is and why it's important to have this in your business design. Again, you want to select what year of operation your business is in. Is it year 1? Is it year 2, 3, or so forth? And talk about that in your thesis statement. Then we're looking, you can see at the point totals, we want to get detailed income statement where we talk about those different forms of revenue that you're going to have and get specific with that. Again, this is where we talked about your number one revenue generator and then your additional profit centers. And then you need to have a detailed list of your expenses. Again, we're looking at fixed expenses and again, all of the different types. If you're not sure what we're looking for, there's a great example of an income statement, page 228 of your textbook. Thus, we need to include tax considerations. So again, look at your specific location, what would be your state taxes, and then any local taxes, and list that in expenses also. Last then, come up with a net income. You want to use just kind of funny numbers here. That's not the important part. Hopefully you show a profit, but the key point is to have details to the different types and areas in an income statement. Next then is risk management. That's chapter 13, CPD number 9. We need TRI for client assessment, then TRI for your certifications with your business and your staff, and then last, your risk management plan and forms of evaluations. TRI for each of those. Next is maintaining your facility. We need TRI for your maintenance needs assessment, and then you need TRI for your preventative maintenance plan and those evaluations. Next then is legal, health, law, and insurance issues. This is real simple. There was an opportunity with every discussion to come up with research on those topics in these areas. Go back and look at not only if you did research, but what your peers did, where we start to look at number 1 TRI is what is the current considerations of health law that impacts your employees and your clients specific to your business. Then you need to do TRI where you look at future considerations. Again, we talked about this in the very beginning of the course, and there's a resource at the very start of Canvas where I give you some research areas there. Third, then you need to be specific to your business. What are the insurance considerations or needs for your business? TRI for that. And again, we talked about that, chapter 15, CPD number 11 specifically. Last then, chapter 16, CPD number 12. This is that evaluation and expansion. Right here is where you want to go to that specific location of your business and go ahead and look at this Data USA link we talked about. You need TRI where you talk about population density, and you're going to use and cite real data specific to the location that you selected for your business. Second, you need TRI, where you talk about travel time and to your facility. Again, looking at data that supports the importance of what that is and how you get there. Number 3 then is the socioeconomics of the area. Again, using real data and statistics to get TRI for that. And then last, look at some future plans and goals of your business. Again, TRI for that. You can see this is 43 total points, so it's a real important section. But again, all of this has been worked in some form or fashion previously from projects or quizzes or your discussions, and you need to just shape and refine it a little bit. Last is with mechanics. Real simple. We need to have those proper citations, APA style. You should have that down by now. Tried to give you feedback throughout. Need clear headers and subheadings for each of those. Again, the format you should have down through each of the projects development. Last is proper list of the references. Again, sources need to be under 25%, meaning 75% of the document needs to be your own words and own materials. So it can't just be quotes upon quotes. You need a minimum of 8 references, which should be very easily done if you can look at research from discussions, from your projects throughout and your peers. Last, I need this to be a consistent format, font, spacing, and layout of the business plan. It needs to look professional. Easy 3 points, but again, if you're copying and pasting, just make sure that you find one consistent format and fonts and so forth. Expectations, again, we want to go ahead and 12-point font, margins, give some page numbers. The reference list needs to be APA format, but again, that should have been covered throughout Canvas. And then last, submission uploaded on Canvas, turn it in. That's requirement there so that I can check it with turn it in. Due Tuesday of finals week at 8 a.m. But you can turn it in early because we put the due date as actually last day of class Friday, but you can ask for an extension until Tuesday. After that, then it starts to be 10 days off. And by Thursday, if there's nothing, I'm going to have to give you a 0 then because I've got to get grades in. All right, so again, use your projects 3, 4, and 5. Use your discussions, research, use your quizzes. You can copy, paste all of those. Just make sure that they fit and that you've made the improvements so that the quality's there. Again, this will end up being a pretty big document, but a lot of it is work that you've already done, and it's more about polishing, editing, and adding to it. So part 1 is that human resources, which is project 4, 33 points. Part 2 then, we got 27 with recruitment, retention, profitability. Part 3, our ops, our facility management evaluation, worth 45 points, and then mechanics 15 for a total of 120. Good luck.